Red Dead Redemption 2 is the third game in the Red Dead series and is a prequel to Rockstar's 2010 game Red Dead Redemption. Set in 1899 at the turn of the century, when the American Wild West was fading away and being replaced by the modern landscape of the 20th century, you play as Arthur Morgan, a member of the Dutch Van der Linde gang, a group of outlaws struggling to maintain their lifestyle in a quickly changing world.
Come on, let's get to camp.
So you got the cash then?
What cash?
Yeah, there's usually some cash.
Red Dead begins with Arthur and his gang fighting for survival as they attempt to escape the law after a failed heist in the city of Blackwater. Much of the first few hours of the game is devoted to tutorial-style missions meant to help you understand all of the new mechanics that have been added to Red Dead 2's gameplay. Red Dead Redemption 2 has a lot of what you'd expect from an open-world sandbox game. In addition to the main story missions, there are tons of side missions, random encounter events, collectibles, and even some gambling mini-games.
Send them to my homestead.
And after playing the game for a little over 12 hours, I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of what this game has to offer. But what sets Red Dead apart from other games like it is the level of detail that goes into these side missions.
I don't know. A couple fellas I heard in town, they said it was really freakish.
Whenever I played a mission that wasn't tied directly to the game's main campaign, it never felt like a side mission. The missions were fun and the well-written dialogue kept me interested in what was going on.
You take this. Let's split up. I'll meet you back at camp.
Which brings me to one of the core gameplay mechanics of Red Dead 2, upgrading your gang's camp. After escaping the blizzard, your gang is forced to set up camp in a remote forest. Because all of your gang's previous riches were lost during the heist in Blackwater, you're tasked to do whatever it takes to get your gang back on its feet again. All of the resources, money, and items you receive from completing missions can and should be used to upgrade your gang's hideout. Gang hideout upgrades include things like buying leather working tools, which allow you to craft items with the skins gained from hunting. Another huge addition to Red Dead is the relationship you have with your horse. Increasing your bond with your horse not only upgrades things like your horse's health and stamina, but also affects how your horse reacts in different situations. The gunplay in Red Dead has also evolved a lot. Guns handle a lot more realistically, and each gun offers its own advantages and disadvantages. A detail that I think is extremely cool is the fact that you need to rechamber a round after each shot. And of course all of your weapons can be upgraded and customized to increase things like accuracy and range. Weather's also something that plays an important role in Red Dead 2. Different weather calls for different clothes. Temperature, along with a warning that you're either too hot or too cold, both of which have a negative effect on Arthur, help you to decide what kind of clothes is best for the situation you're in. The moment you start playing Red Dead 2, you'll be amazed by what Rockstar has accomplished in terms of graphics. It's the smallest graphical details that really make Red Dead stand out from other past games. The tracks left by animals can be used for tracking, bumping into a snow-covered tree sends snow falling to the ground, and the dirt, grime, and sometimes blood that build up on you and your horse have in-game consequences. Red Dead is a massive game, and I could go into every detail in this video, but to spare you a 30-minute review, I'll move on to a few things that I didn't like about the game. First off, I didn't like that you aren't able to call your horse from anywhere on the map. I understand this adds a sense of realism to the game, but I prefer a little bit of fantasy as opposed to having to walk an entire day back to camp. And of course this might change later in the game, but at 12 hours into it, it's something that's become really annoying for me, so I'm hoping that there's something that unlocks later to solve this issue. The second thing I dislike also has to do with the horse, and it's also related to the game's attempt to maybe be too realistic. The common annoyance I've had is being thrown off my horse, whether in horse combat by hitting a rock or other character while I'm focused on fighting enemies, or by a rogue NPC as I travel to a mission location. Again, this is something that might be fixed later on in the game by some sort of upgrade, but in the first 12 hours of my gameplay, it's become something that's just really aggravating, and I wish they would have done a little less with the realism in this area. And lastly, this isn't something that I personally dislike, but it's something I could see others disliking, and it's the fact that there's so much to do in this game. I have the luxury of being able to pour hundreds of hours into a game, but not everyone does, and I could definitely see plenty of situations where a player might feel overwhelmed with all the things you're expected to do in this game. But even with Red Dead Redemption 2's potential faults, Rockstar has achieved something spectacular and has again raised the bar for what's expected from an open-world sandbox game. In a time when gamers are expecting more from their games, Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption 2 has gone above and beyond that expectation.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan, for sparing me like that. I'll work hard. I am not a bad fella. You'll soon warm to me.
Just see that I do.
Oh, you will.